With her can-do attitude, love of simple gardens and decades of experience, Charlie Dimmock is one of Britain's best-loved gardeners.
Looking good, boys.
But the new kids on the gardening block are the Rich brothers.
We want to be the brothers that change people's perceptions of gardens.
Winners of multiple medals at the Chelsea Flower Show.
Oh, good turn. Amazing, isn't it?
The boys have become known for their dramatic outdoor spaces. Now these two different generations of gardening are going head-to-head.
I know they've got a gold medal, but I can come up with a few ideas.
They're meeting frustrated garden owners across the country.
The photos made it look tiny. It is, isn't it?
I'm sure you've seen larger.
I don't know what to do with it.
And will each pitch them a design based on their needs and budget.
It looks really exciting.
It doesn't look like it could be our garden.
The winner
Ta-da!
brings their design to life.
Hold on.
Sweet, isn't it?
And the loser has to help them build it.
Oh, I'm getting irritated now. We're sort of faffing around.
This is what happens
Does he ever get irritating?
All the time.
when different styles collide.
Who chose these?
1, 2, 3.
This looks like your design.
Yeah.
To turn garden dreams into reality.
Wow, open your eyes.
Wow, it's amazing. It's beautiful.
Today, Charlie and the Rich brothers will be competing over a garden that to its owners is more than just an outdoor space.
This application's from Andy and Angela. Family home, they've lived there 20 years. Lots of happy memories of the children growing up there.
Well, they look like a lovely couple, don't they? Some nice big smiles.
Yeah.
Retired police officer Andy and his wife Angela live in Worcestershire with their dog Rudy. Their grown-up daughter Kelly lives close by.
Well, looking at the garden, I think it could do with a little bit of something. Yeah, I think we've lost the inspiration a little bit.
Both Kelly and their elder son John grew up in this garden, but 2 years ago, after a long battle with illness, John died tragically at the age of 26. And since then, Mum and Dad haven't had the heart to stay on top of it.
They've sort of lost their motivation in the garden, so they want us to go in and help them be re-motivated to enjoy the garden again.
Yeah. What we want to do is to bring a bit of happiness into the garden again, because we've always had happy times here. So this time, I think we want to do it for us and our daughter, and it would just be lovely to have the garden looking nice.
Right now, the garden has a featureless lawn with an ugly concrete path that leads down to a prominent row of sheds.
It's going to be kind of easy for us to create something quite special.
Yeah, loads of opportunities, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think it'll cheer us up for a start.
Mm.
You know, it'll give us something to look at when we come down, apart from grass.
The couple would also like the garden to reflect the happy times they all spent here as a family.
They would love to put in a bit of the garden that sort of brings back lots of happy memories of their son.
Just somewhere where you can just reflect and celebrate his life, which would be lovely. He just loved the garden as well. And he used to like his apple pies, didn't he, as well, so which my mum used to make him.
With the garden meaning so much to them, they're not skimping on the budget.
£5,000 is going to come out of my pension that I saved all my life.
Budget-wise, quite good, £5,000, although it's quite a large garden.
Yeah.
By rights, we should be able to give them something really special.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely.
This is a unique challenge for Charlie and the boys, and they will now compete for the chance to create the garden of Andy and Angela's dreams. So they're heading to Worcestershire to see it for themselves.
Here it is.
They're hoping to glean more information that will help them come up with a winning design. The boys go straight into the house to see if the couple's taste could inspire them in the garden. Meanwhile, Charlie wants to find out more about what the garden means to Andy and Angela.
Lovely to meet you.
So what do you want from the garden now? Because, I mean, it's a nice big space.
It's a bit too green.
It's a bit too green.
Too much lawn.
Why is that? So you're going for low maintenance, are you,
Low
sir?
maintenance, yes. That would be nice, yes.
I instantly get a kind of a clean, modern feeling from
Yeah,
there.
it's quite light, quite a lot of white as well.
It is, yeah. It's quite a nice, uplifting room.
And quite a contemporary feature here with the fireplace.
Yeah, it's quite, with the rug and it's kind of quite muted.
Yeah.
Definitely got a contemporary feel, yeah.
Let's go and chat into the room,
Let's
shall
see
we?
if there's anything else.
Charlie is pleased to see that the garden isn't completely bare.
It's great for us to come to a garden that has got already some planting, it's got a view, it's got some sheds.
Inside, the boys find that in other parts of the house, Andy and Angela's taste is very traditional.
Oh, look at this. Quite different, isn't it, to the other room?
Yeah.
Look at that. Whoa. It's a nice-looking stove, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my kind of stove.
Quite a contrast to the other room, so there's that blend between contemporary and traditional.
And I see there's more colour in this room as well.
Looking around the couple's house, it's clear that their son John is still very much a presence, and they want to celebrate his life in their new garden.
We can actually sit down together now and
We just need
just
somewhere
enjoy
to
it.
sit and relax. We'd like a memorial for John.
Yeah,
Less grass.
it's grass.
And I've always wanted a pergola all the way down and maybe just take those slabs away.
We just want you to wave your magic wand for us, Charlie.
It's going to take more than a magic wand to transform this space into everything Andy and Angela are looking for, even for £5,000. So our rival designers get straight to work. Each of them has to come up with a design for Andy and Angela's perfect garden that will work within their budget. The couple will then choose a winner, and the defeated designer will have to help the winner build the garden. Charlie appreciates how important memories will be in the new garden, while the boys have gauged that the couple aren't afraid of contemporary design ideas. Whose design will they go for?
It's split up into two kind of styles, one a bit more modern and one a bit more traditional and soft. This area here is the more contemporary, more modern, so it's got a linear avenue broken up by these pockets of planting. It's got a beautiful avenue of apple trees.
The boys have picked up that Angela wanted some fruit trees in the garden.
This is a gravel path edged with paviours. And then down the bottom here, I've got a seating area with evergreens, so it's always going to look attractive, and it will draw you down the garden.
Both designers have incorporated a peaceful area to sit and reflect.
That leads you down to this really nice, quite contemporary seating space.
You'd be walking down under the tree canopy, and then you can just turn right into a nice little spot where you can sit down and relax.
Is that my shed at the top? Top
Yes,
right?
so we thought that was the best man cave we've ever seen, so you don't want to get rid of that.
Charlie has remembered Angela would like some shade across the path.
And this is a pergola area to screen the shed. So it's a very simple pergola. We've got clipped yew, and then we've got climbers going up over the pergola.
With the planting, we wanted to keep it quite vibrant and uplifting, so it's it's a space to really enjoy, and it's the feeling that it conjures up.
I feel calm just looking at it now.
Andy and Angela were clear they wanted the focal point of the garden to be a memorial for their son John.
I was thinking of something like a pedestal with a solar light on that automatically comes on, and if we planted a lot of scented plants along there, as you walk down to that area, you get all the sort of smells of lavender, maybe rosemary.
What we wanted to do is give this lovely focal magnolia tree to symbolise John. And it gives you this lovely little space where it's going to be dappled, you'll be underneath it, you can see it change, it comes to flower, and it really just kind of creates this lovely little atmosphere, really.
The pitch is over. It's now up to Andy and Angela to decide for their £5,000 budget which design will achieve the garden they're after.
This is going to be a tough decision, isn't it?
Well, they've both captured elements that we wanted in the garden. Charlie's is a more cottagey type garden with all the planting that she's explained to us, and certainly with the raised beds.
Which is lovely and colourful.
Whereas the Rich Brothers is a little bit more formal, isn't it? But then again, you've got
all the meadows, which is lovely.
The meadow planting.
That gives a little bit of calmness.
It looks very peaceful, doesn't it?
And very peaceful, especially the seating area, which I really like.
And the magnolia.
Which is our favourite tree.
And we've also got the apple trees down the path.
Which reminds me of John with his loving his apple pies off his gran.
Yeah.
I think Charlie's has sort of captured the lightness of us as well. It's a happy garden.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. I think they're both beautiful. And they've both captured both of us, our personalities. And it'd be lovely to have any of them.
We've got to make a decision now, haven't we?
So will it be Charlie with her winding path, her pergola covered in pretty climbers, and a pedestal surrounded by scented plants to commemorate their son's life? Or will they choose the Rich Brothers with their avenue of apple trees, contemporary patio, and their feature magnolia tree as a memorial to John?
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hello there.
We made our decision. I have to say you've captured a lot of elements that we're after in our garden. But our decision is...
Oh, amazing. Awesome. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, brilliant. What made you choose our design?
Well, we thought it was what we're looking for in a contemplative area.
Brilliant.
We love trees, so any trees are good.
But it was so hard because Charlie captured us as people.
I think that shows how much gardens can really give, because there are so many elements to a garden. Like I said, there's personal journeys, there's kind of moods and atmospheres and spirit, so...
I hope those are tears of happiness for a beautiful garden.
It's just going to make a big change to us, to be in the garden.
Yeah, well, it'll be a really special place to be.
But it was a really hard decision.
We didn't say it'd be easy.
I know.
Hopefully the build will be nice and easy.
Yes.
It's clear just how much this garden means to Andy and Angela. The boys may have won, but all three of them will need to pull together to build something that honours John's memory and helps this couple look to the future. It's day one of the build. While Harry and David are finessing their planting plans off-site, they've sent in project manager Paul and landscapers Andy and Lee to start marking out the garden. This is a big plot, so the boys need to make sure that the proportions of hard landscaping are spot on.
Right.
Too little, and it will look like an island in a green ocean. Too big, and it will look like a tennis court. Andy and Angela were won over by the boys' more formal design based on a rectangular terrace in the middle of the lawn that is accessed by a path from the back of the house. And to the landscaper's frustration, the boys' design has the new path in a slightly different place to the old one.
In reality, this path actually runs at an angle. So in order for this to look like it does on the plan, we've got to change the angle of that path and square it up towards the shed.
So rather than just put a new path in the lines of the old one, it all has to be remarked. Where to put a garden path and what type is one of the crucial decisions when it comes to planning a garden. A path doesn't just have to take you from A to B. It can be a magical journey, revealing exciting parts of the garden along the way. In the stately home gardens of the 17th century, huge avenues lined with trees were an indication of status. The trees will be planted further apart, further along the path, to make it look even grander. In the 18th century landscape gardens, meandering paths were used to reveal new features on the estate around each corner. Today's private gardens still use this principle, and different textures reflect the style or look. Grass or bark paths add to a wildlife garden. Herringbone paths with plants spilling over are ideal for cottage or informal gardens. and sparsely laid rectangular pavers can give a futuristic touch to a modern garden. Paths can draw the eye to specific features. Curved or S-shaped paths reveal the garden bit by bit. And a long, straight path focuses attention on features or planting. In Andy and Angela's garden, before any new path can go in, the patio needs to be perfect. But it's not long before Paul realises there's another problem. The ground is not level.
There's much more of a slope than we initially thought. Because of that, we're going to have to use a lot of the materials that are here already to build the levels up.
Fortunately, there's 25 concrete slabs that had no place in the new garden. But they do now.
That's the level of the paving. So by reusing these, we don't have to use as much hardcore to get the level up. And it's just a cost-effective way of doing it as well.
Base layers of hardcore can be costly in such a big space, and these slabs will do just as good a job. All it needs now is a thin layer of aggregate to get it level. And it's ready for the new patio. The boys want the garden to be a mix of traditional and contemporary, so although the design is formal, they're using modern tiles to give Andy and Angela an outdoor room. Meanwhile, the new path has been marked out and then cut and edged with wood. And the Rich brothers are out front, busy briefing Charlie on the task ahead.
This garden's really got a lot of meaning behind it, hasn't it? So I think it's important we nail it.
But it does put the pressure on you,
I know.
boys.
No, we're confident, aren't we? We're confident.
Yeah.
They've got this lovely, backdrop, so it'd be really nice to kind of just accentuate that, maybe, with a little bit of planting.
Yeah. A little bit of planting.
I know.
Looks like a lot of planting to me. Come on, then, we'll stop talking again.
All right.
Come on.
The first task for Harry and David is to mark out the garden's 4 new flower beds. Putting in such a long path means a lot of exposed landscaping. So the boys want to flank it with large areas of planting.
We've already got the terrace in the middle of the garden, and for us it's key that all these beds run off that. So all we're doing now is stringing up that main line. That's going to create the avenue as you walk down. Then all the beds come off that, really, so we can start creating the shapes. And, then we can start planting. But it's great using a string line because, you can adapt it and change it without actually cementing anything onto the ground.
With a £5,000 budget to play with, the Rich brothers have invested in a lot of plants. But they want to reuse anything that Andy and Angela already had in the garden. And Charlie's been put in charge of salvage.
The boys want me to save as many plants from this border as possible, and there's a couple of fuchsias that Angela really wants to save. I have to say, they're a bit past their sell-by date. They've gone really, really woody, and although there's some nice fresh shoots there, normally what I'd do is take cuttings of that, grow those on and get rid of the old plant. The other big problem is there's lots of perennial weeds in this border, so I'm going to have to pick over the plants really carefully because there's lots of bindweed, potentilla, dandelions, which have all got roots that will regenerate. If you chop them up and plant them, you'll just get more. Ooh. So the process is get all the soil off so that you don't transplant any of the perennial weeds. And then I'm going to go and put that in the shade, maybe with a bit of polythene over it so that we can just plant it straight back in and it doesn't dehydrate.
As well as rectangular flower beds, at the bottom of the garden, the boys are adding traditional curved areas for meadow planting. And with 4 beds to prepare, it's time for David to unleash his secret weapon.
Watch out, man.
The turf cutter.
Using a turf cutter makes life a lot easier. And it does it in a nice clean strip as well, so when you're making beds, it leaves that really crisp edge, which is quite good. You'd be looking at spending about £50 a day with one of these, but if you're doing a large area, then I would definitely recommend using one of these.
But it helps to have your older brother following behind to clear up the spoil. Meanwhile, Charlie is making progress with her salvage project, but the plants she's taking out will need a lot of attention.
These Aquilegia are just coming into flower, so it's really not the best time of the year to transplant them, but it's a case of having to. So I've lifted them with as much soil on them as possible so the roots aren't disturbed. And all that will happen is if they do dry out a bit, you'll lose the flowers this year, but they'll be fine the following year.
With such a lot of turf being lifted to make the flower beds and meadow areas, the boys have come up with a nifty plan to reuse it. But it's not on the design, so they need to get the green light from Andy and Angela.
There's a lot of lawn coming out of the garden at the moment. Is that something you're OK with?
Totally, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And we thought it's good-looking turf, so we don't want to just throw it all away. We'd like to recycle it. So we've got this idea that we need to run by you.
OK.
It's an idea of creating a hazel hurdle seat, or like a turf seat.
Never heard of that before.
So here you can see this is the hazel hurdle here. And Charlie's done a great job of clearing some of the existing plants here, the fuchsias and the astrantias and things. It's great. And we're going to recycle them, which is nice. So what we'd like to do, if it's OK with you guys, is cut this in half to create this hazel hurdle-like retaining seat.
Right.
And then, because this soil here has got quite a lot of weeds in it, we'd like to keep it here rather than put it into the beds that we've created.
Oh, lovely.
Run the turf over it, and then that means that you can sit down here and have a complete different perspective on your garden.
Oh, lovely.
Is that OK? Does that feel right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Brilliant. And then the plus of it all, because we're cutting in half, we get two. So what we're going to do, not only have one here, but we'll have one over there as well. You're happy with that?
Yeah, really
Sounds a
happy.
good idea.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Great
Perfect.
idea.
That's how you keep the client happy. Give them something extra for nothing.
Thank you very much.
See ya.
Thank you.
Having 2 additional seating areas on the boundary will give Andy and Angela new perspectives on their new garden. For most garden owners, having somewhere to sit is top of the list of requirements. But it pays to do your homework before taking the plunge. Work out where the sun rises and sets in your garden. That will dictate whether you want to sit outside for breakfast or an early evening drink. And consider what you want it for. If it's for entertaining, then nearer the house may be better. But for quiet reflection, nothing beats meandering down a path to your own private bench at the bottom of the garden. Back in Worcester, David is making a start on the hazel hurdle seat.
So it's great that Angela and Andrew are really happy with the hazel hurdle idea. I think it's going to make a really good addition to the garden. This here we picked up for about £66, just for the individual piece itself, which I know you're thinking is quite expensive, but it is a real skill. A craftsman's made it. You see this more as like a natural fencing, but we're going to use it as a decorative face to a seat. So it's going to kind of retain some soil and turf and create a really nice little seat down the garden.
Woven hazel like this has been used for thousands of years for fencing because of its strength and durability.
Yeah, as you can see, it's a real tight fit, so it's a real craft to put it all together. It doesn't make it easy to get it apart.
Since the Middle Ages, hazel hurdles have been used for containing sheep and have recently made a resurgence for garden fences.
Ah, beautiful.
With the patio finished, it's time for the magnolia tree to be planted.
It's like a blooming obstacle course round here.
It'll be worth it, though. It'll definitely be worth it when it's in place. This magnolia is called Merrill, and it has this beautiful open flower, which, is short-lived, but, really gives a statement at this time of year.
Where are we going, Harry?
Down by there.
Down there?
By there, shall we? Oh.
Not only will the magnolia add shade to the seating area, it will stand as a memorial for Andy and Angela's son, John.
Nothing nicer than sitting next to a tree in blossom this time of year.
Yeah, it's got a nice habit, hasn't it?
This shape is absolutely stunning because I think it's key when, you know, when you're choosing your tree at the nursery, really think about the shape because, you know, the tree's going to grow up in like 10 years' time. So if you can pick a nice shape now, then when it's mature, it's going to look so elegant and beautiful. It's kind of quite nice putting a tree in, though, isn't it? It does add a lot to the garden.
Yeah, it's satisfying, obviously. And then it should come out, look.
I can give you help now if you want, Paul.
And I've done it now, Harry.
What are you talking about?
And then what that does, it just...
Before planting a tree, tease the roots out to give them a better chance of establishing once it's planted.
Ready?
Yep.
OK. There we go.
Oh,
look at that.
Some could say that was...
Do you know what? It's like you've almost done that before. Are you happy with kind of the angle of it and the aspect
I might
of
just
it? Is that... Do you want to...
Might just twist it this way a bit without damaging that. There we are. It's lovely.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Let's get it in now.
Magnolias will thrive in moist soil, so they need frequent watering to establish. The roots will need a regular soaking to develop over the first 2 years. Meanwhile, the medieval turf seat is coming together with the help of some 21st century tools.
Brilliant. I've just attached the half hurdle to some sturdy posts, so now all we've got to do is start backfilling.
Getting the right height for the seat requires a lot of turf, and with 2 to build, it's every man for himself.
Oi! Oh, you! Oh, but, Lee! A turf stealer. Looking good, boys, looking good.
You better not make that one look better than ours now.
Now the path has been edged and a base layer added, Harry's finishing it with a material that will contrast with the patio.
We're using a limestone bonded gravel. This is going to compact really tightly together and it'll almost be a finish like concrete. So, again, it's going to be a very robust path and it's going to last for years. We've already laid a couple of inches of hardcore on the base of the path, and we're now going to put the finishing 40 mil of the gravel, which will give this lovely contemporary feel.
Back at the fence, they're nearly there with the hazel hurdle seats.
So we've used the rolls of turf to create like a wall, which will then fill up with soil and then start laying turf over the top. So it's literally a retaining wall. And because it's turf and it's going to be cut regularly, it doesn't matter about the weed roots in the soil because it will be cut down regularly and things like ground elder won't put up with that.
As the next key feature in the garden, to add some formal elegance to the path, the boys are creating an avenue of apple trees. Angela has fond memories of her son enjoying his grandma's apple pie.
Oh, these look gorgeous, don't they?
They look
Lovely.
awesome.
Beautiful avenue trees.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's quite relaxing, actually.
That is. Quite excited about getting these in. Got him.
Yeah, and then look at this guy.
Wow, where's that going then?
In here. This is going to create the avenue down there.
It's going to keep going down, is it?
It's by here, actually.
They're quite
So
tall,
there's probably
aren't
going to be
they?
one in the middle there and one down there, I'd say.
Yeah.
This one's going to be maybe the middle.
On the design, these 5 apple trees will run in a line along the 10-metre path. But transferring a design from paper to reality can throw up issues.
Lovely. Kind of quite close as well. It's going to rain again, I think.
After seeing the size of the garden with fresh eyes, the boys have decided it would look better if they rejigged the formation of the trees.
Do you need to have that one at the end, or do you want to put that one up here? Just have one in the middle, and then
Well,
have 2
one in the
there.
middle and have 2 where Charlie is.
That
And then you
really
block
nice,
out
yeah.
that. Let's just,
Yeah,
no, it's fine. I got him. Craig, you come here.
And perfectionists Harry and David want them all in position before they can be planted.
Have a look at that. Go back up there. How about that?
Oh, that's nice.
Loving that.
Just in time, because the heavens have opened.
Well,
Get
just
out of the
lie
rain.
Get out of the rain.
Lie them down
just lie them
again,
down.
Oh. Should we jump for anywhere?
Look Luckily, the rain doesn't last long and the team are soon back to work. After lifting a lot of turf, the hazel hurdle seats are nearly finished.
So this is the last process now of the turf seat, and we're just rolling on the last layers of turf, which is good. But you may think that it looks a little bit high, as you can see here, there's the hurdle, but that's just because the soil over time is going to compact down. So we just wanted to give it maybe an inch or two over that so that it stays higher than the hurdle.
Can I just stay here now? There's only a bit of planting to do. It's right height, isn't it?
Oh, it's a nice seat height, isn't it? They always say that with seats, that it's important not to have it too low, because otherwise you kind of hunch up when you're sitting down. Your knees are up by your chest. Whereas it's nice to have something that's a bit more perched, good for the posture.
It'll be a really lovely view down there, won't it?
Yeah. Right, I'm going to finish it off.
Right.
Hi. Oh, with a slightly damp bum.
Whilst the landscapers plant the freestanding apple trees, the brothers are complementing them with another formal feature on the fence.
We finished with these turf seats, and what we're going to do is plant these espaliered fruit trees in between them. So espalier, all it means is that the tree has been manipulated to a framework, and this is perfect for taking advantage of vertical space, like a boundary. These are beautiful, so they link in with the rest of the fruit trees in the garden, but they're great because they add that nice bit of structure, and especially to a more slightly boring boundary fence. And what we're going to do with these ones is we're going to leave them on their framework at the moment, but what we'd advise Angela and Andrew to do is string along some wire or something that the branches can grow across, and then hopefully, over time, they'll all link up together. This one here is a plum, so hopefully over time, the branches will grow out over the boundary so you can sit on your turf seat and eat some plums.
The espalier technique, as the name suggests, became popular in France in the Middle Ages as a way of training fruit either on a frame or against a warm wall to make best use of the sun. The ancient tradition continues, and in Britain, some of the best examples can be found at Westdean Gardens in Chichester. Here, a celebrated apple collection is housed in its walled garden.
People have trained plants ever since people have been gardening, and there are a number of reasons for doing it. One, you could utilise spaces which wouldn't otherwise be utilised. Two, it's a very productive way of growing fruit. It's easily accessible. You can make the tree the size you want it to be. Three, it's extremely attractive, and that's the principal reason why I love it. We've got examples of the circular training. You can train them in S shapes. You can train them as fans. It's very pertinent to the modern, contemporary small gardens that most people have, because you can actually grow fruit in positions where you might not otherwise be able to grow. You couldn't grow a large tree like the one I'm sitting under, but you could grow an espalier. It's a great way of creating a boundary. You can actually use it almost like a fruiting fence. So it can be a visual screen, it can be a physical screen. I mean, there are lots of different ways of training fruit, but the espalier is probably one of the easiest to achieve.
Back in the garden, David has a less expensive alternative for the espalier.
An alternative to buying a pre-framed one is to do it yourself. And you'd be looking at maybe about £10 less expensive than that one. So, and all you do is you'd mock up a framework. You could do it like this one, or you could attach some wires across a fence or a wall, and that would be fine. And then you'd look for its natural back, so that would be the flatter face of it. So it'd be like this one here. And then all you do is you just bend these, train them down, and then you tie it on with these rubber ties, just nice and firm to hold it there.
The sun is now shining and the build is in full swing. With all the hard landscaping complete, it's time for the next phase. Andy and Angela wanted a relaxed and thoughtful atmosphere that their old, tired garden was lacking. To achieve this, the boys are adding curved meadow areas to help soften the landscape. They've cleverly come up with not one, not two, but 3 different ways to create a meadow. Harry is laying 20 metres of pre-sown meadow lawn for an instant effect.
It's the same as kind of laying turf. You know, it makes it very simple to do. And, you know, instead of having to lay seed, it's really going to be this instant meadow, which is going to, you know, encourage wildlife, birds. It kind of flowers right throughout the season. And then as soon as the winter's over, cut it down, get rid of all the cuttings, and then just wait until it comes back in the, late spring, summer. This isn't the most cost-effective way of creating a meadow. You're looking at about £12 to £25 per square metre.
At the back of the garden, Charlie is using a more traditional and cheaper method to create a similar effect.
Angela and Andrew want to be surrounded with really lovely colours and uplifting plants, and meadow plants can do that. I'm going to create a meadow here from seed. It's a really good value way of doing it, compared to, say, using meadow turf that's like £12 a square yard up to £25 a square yard. The seed that you can use is about 60p a square yard, which is quite different. When you prepare the seed bed, you need to rake it over so you've got a nice tilth on the surface, and remove the big stones and rubbly bits so that the seeds have a better chance of germinating. Meadow plants as well like quite a poor soil, so I'm going to add this gravel to the soil. But the other thing is when you come to sow the seeds, that's 10 grams of seed in there, and I have to spread that 1 gram a square metre. So I'm going to mix all the seed in with the gravel, then spread the gravel, and you can see where you're going. So I'm just going to sprinkle it over, and then I will give it a light rake as well.
Charlie?
Yeah?
Turf seed's looking epic, isn't it?
I think it's really good fun, actually.
Yeah.
I think
Dog
it's
will
great.
love that.
Yeah. And the meadow here, I mean, I've got a lot of annual seeds in there, so like poppies and cornflowers and daisies. So that should give them a lot of instant colour this year.
How long will it take for it to kind of establish?
You should start seeing some growth after about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Quite happily. And then in a month and a half's time, it should be out in flower.
Yeah, it would look lovely from up there, wouldn't it?
I know. It's looking good.
It is.
Good.
Oh.
On the left-hand side of the patio, David isn't taking up the lawn, he's planting through it.
What we wanted to do with this area was to capture the feeling of a wild orchard and then flood the floor with these British native meadow plants. What we're doing differently for this meadow is we're keeping the existing turf, so that helps save labour time as well. And the reason we can do it is because of this little fella right here, and this is yellow rattle. So this is great because it's semi-parasitic, which means it actually weakens the roots of the grasses that are here. And over time, that'll help change the balance of grass and wildflower and help these self-seed and establish. What I'm planting underneath these fruit trees, we've got cowslips, forget-me-nots, primroses, and heartsease. And this will just give a really nice, quite vibrant meadow feeling. Now, these are about £2 per plant, which makes it quite a cost-effective way of creating a meadow, because they will self-seed, which is great. And especially if you've got the yellow rattle as well, then that'll really help them just establish and take over the space.
The boys have chosen nearly 200 plants to fill their new flower beds. To help create the peaceful atmosphere Andy and Angela were after, the boys have chosen flowers that will provide colour and vitality. 120 grasses will soften the hard edges of the landscaping and add gentle movement and texture. The sun is setting on the build, and with the planting done, the last job of the day is left to Andy, compacting the gravel on the path to leave a smooth surface. Andy and Angela's garden was a flat and uninspiring large lawn with Andy's sheds as the only feature. Now it's had a £5,000 transformation. The boys have broken up the large expanse of lawn with a modern patio placed right in the middle. Perfect for socialising and relaxing, the stone pavers came in at £560. The couple were keen to get rid of their concrete slabs, and in their place, the brothers have built a cool and contemporary gravel path for £350. Either side, the boys have placed 5 statuesque apple trees that will transform the path into an elegant avenue. The boys have spent £300 on meadow lawn and just over £1,000 on grasses, perennials and wildflowers. They may be small now, but in just a few months they will flood the garden with colour, texture and movement. David and Harry spent just £60 on some dirt cheap seating for the boundary, made from hazel hurdles and leftover turf. And finally, the most important thing for Andy and Angela was to have a memorial for their son John. The boys spent £240 on the couple's favourite tree, the magnolia, that will provide beautiful blooms for many years. It's time to find out if Harry and David, with Charlie and the team, have delivered the garden Andy and Angela are hoping for.
All right, guys, I'd like to open your eyes to your new garden.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
What do you think?
oh it's lovely.
That's excellent.
Oh, it's beautiful.
The seat.
Yeah, there's the seats.
Oh, my goodness, look at all that. And the trees. And the path.
Yeah, got rid of the concrete path.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness. Oh, that's
Bye-bye,
lovely.
concrete.
Happy to see that go.
Goodness for that. Oh, yeah.
Well, there's lots of smiles. That's got to be a good sign, hasn't it?
What we've done is we've interplanted all the grasses with these lovely perennials as well. So this summer, it's all going to come up, and this will be kind of block planting. And, you know, you'll get so much kind of interest from here.
Oh, it's lovely.
I can't get over these seats.
I can't. I think they're brilliant.
Brilliant.
Might have convinced Andrew about the seat as well. He's smiling and laughing.
Might be a bit damp. I don't know. No, so I've seen it earlier. No room for a little then, is there?
I'm on here, mate.
Oh, it's lovely.
The dog will love it on here, won't he?
We were saying this would be his prime spot, nice little sunny area.
He'll love it.
Should we go take a little look at the end of the garden?
Okie dokie.
Oh, lovely.
You guys go first.
Yeah.
And it's nice that we can actually sit here instead of on the patio all the time, so it's something a bit different for us, isn't it?
Because the one important factor for us was to create this kind of calming space.
Yes.
Do you think it has that?
Oh,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
lovely.
beautiful.
There's actually a really nice view out of the kitchen as well.
Yeah,
Down to the magnolia tree.
A lot going on.
Yeah, there is an awful lot. But it's beautiful all around there.
So how high will that magnolia tree grow?
10 metres maximum. I mean, it'll maximum. You know, it's a lovely shape. So you know, over time, it's really going to kind of, you know, it's only going to get better, and it's not going to be too dominating for the space.
You're getting emotional now.
Just a little bit.
Tears and smiles and laughter. That's got to be exactly what you want in the garden.
Well, it's amazing to have been part of this with you guys. You know it means a lot to you, so.
It's been lovely. It's been really good. It's been a pleasure having you.
With so many happy family memories for the couple in this garden, the pressure was immense for Harry and David to get their new design just right.
Wow.
Amazing.
Lovely, especially the trees and the pathway. I thought it was just lovely.
Great improvement.
It's got its character back again, hasn't it?
Andy and Angela are delighted and are set to enjoy the garden for years to come. With her can-do attitude, love of simple gardens and decades of experience, Charlie Dimmock is one of Britain's best-loved gardeners.
Looking good, boys.
But the new kids on the gardening block are the Rich brothers.
We want to be the brothers that change people's perceptions of gardens.
Winners of multiple medals at the Chelsea Flower Show.
Good turn. Amazing.
The boys have become known for their dramatic outdoor spaces. Now these two different generations of gardening are going head-to-head.
I know they've got a gold medal, but I can come up with a few ideas.
They're meeting frustrated garden owners across the country.
The photos made it look tiny. It is, isn't it?
I'm sure you've seen larger.
I don't know what to do with it.
And will each pitch them a design based on their needs and budget.
It looks really exciting.
It doesn't look like it could be our garden.
The winner
Ta-da!
brings their design to life.
Hold on.
sweet, isn't it?
And the loser has to help them build it.
Oh, I'm getting irritated now. We're sort of faffing around.
This is what happens.
Does he ever get irritated?
All the time.
When different styles collide.
Who chose these?
1, 2, 3.
This looks like your design.
Yeah.
To turn garden dreams into reality.
Wow, open your eyes.
Wow. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
It's time for Charlie and the Rich brothers to discover whose garden they'll be battling over this time.
So we've got Laura and James, young couple, 28, and they're getting married this year. So they've got a lot of things on their plate. So they're planning for a wedding, and they've been doing up their house as well for 2 years.
James and his fiancée Laura live in Farnham in Surrey. Despite both of them working full-time, they've spent 2 years turning their first house into their dream home.
I think it's been quite time-consuming doing all the renovations, so it's taken a lot of time to go through all the rooms. We're almost finished now, but we haven't touched the garden, so it's quite neglected at the moment.
This young couple have put so much money and effort into their home that their garden has been completely neglected.
Brace yourselves for this one, guys. Have a look at that picture. It doesn't even look like a garden, does it?
No, what's happened there?
That's a little scary, isn't it? Yeah.
I think we've lacked inspiration with what to do with the garden.
We stripped it all back from what was there before, and then we just got it to sort of a blank canvas, and then
Yeah,
we just
definitely.
really want a bit of inspiration on where to go from there.
This garden is a disaster. Right now, its only features are the remains of an old bathroom and an unsightly patio that's definitely seen better days.
There's nothing here, is there?
It's not even any
It's sort
lawn
of,
or anything.
A bit of a tricky one, isn't it?
I'd say looking at the garden at the moment, it's a bit grim, it's a bit dark out
Yeah,
there.
we don't want to spend any time in
No.
there as it is.
And it looks like there's some sort of level change at the end there as well.
Yeah, because otherwise that's a really tall shed.
Yes. So it looks quite a tricky one, this one, I'd say.
Despite the state of the garden, James and Laura have high expectations.
So they definitely want to have it for entertaining. They want to have it for bringing friends over, drinking wine in the evening, that kind of thing. Well, Laura said that she loves flowers and herbs.
I'd quite like to see plants like roses, lavender, fuchsia.
So flood the garden with flowers and I think they'll be very happy.
But having poured their money into the house, and with a wedding to pay for, James and Laura have a limited budget to spend.
The budget we provided is £1,500.
It's a big wish list for £1,500.
To get a good effect with not much money, and there's absolutely nothing.
I think this one's going to take all our creativity, isn't it? I think so, yeah.
Having learnt what they have to contend with, Charlie and the boys will now compete for the chance to make over Laura and James's garden. They're heading to the couple's house to look for clues that might give each of them the edge when it comes to their design. Charlie's heading straight to the garden with Laura and James.
This is it. Someone's been doing some work.
Yeah, been busy.
But the boys have a different approach. They like to snoop around inside.
I think one thing that definitely strikes me is the word shabby chic.
They like to look inside a client's house for clues of how the garden could reflect their tastes.
I think they love the idea of bringing things back to their natural state, maybe leaving a little bit of paint on them or something.
Yeah.
But you can tell that through all these woods.
The boys are known for their contemporary style, but Laura and James have quite traditional tastes, so they need to be careful.
What was it like when you moved in?
We had a bit of a grass patch there.
It was kind of just not really doing much.
There'd been an extension which got knocked down, and rather than pay for skips to get rid of all the waste, they've just buried it at the bottom of the garden and covered it in paving.
One thing I've also noticed as well, there's a lot of floral patterns. It's here on some cake tins and the mugs, and also through cut flowers as well.
Yeah. So I think that's probably one thing we try to look at putting in the garden.
What do you want from the garden? I mean, how are you going to use it?
We'd like somewhere where you can just sit out in the summer and relax, have a drink or two, and then have people over as well.
We need to make sure it's looking as good as what they've done in here, you know, because this is what they love, this is how they see themselves, their own style.
Just make sure there's a lovely link between them.
Yeah.
Both spaces, and then
they'll love it.
Yeah, good work.
Harry and David clearly fancy their chances, but Charlie's finding more clues in the back that might give her an advantage.
Now, I have to say, the different levels, there's a lot of different levels, aren't there?
The old patio is actually in the ideal spot.
You must get all the evening sun up here.
Yeah, this is the real sun trap.
Shed seems like it's seen better days.
Yeah, it's on its last legs, I think.
Yeah. I have to say, we've got a lot to contend with here. It's a tight budget. We've got different levels to work. It's going to really challenge me and the boys to come up with something. But I'm sure we've got a few ideas.
Can't wait to see them.
Transforming this garden for £1,500 is a big ask. Just rebuilding the patio from scratch could blow the budget. So our rival designers get straight to work. Each of them has to come up with a design for Laura and James's garden that will work within their £1,500 budget. The couple will then choose a winner, and whoever loses will have to help them build the garden. So who will the couple go for? Will it be Charlie with her wealth of experience, an eye for the practical and love of blooms? Or will they go with the award-winning Rich brothers, known for their chic, modern designs?
So,
wow.
It's time for the big pitch.
So our idea, our concept for the garden was to really create an outdoor room for you guys, somewhere that you can come home after work and indulge in your outdoor lifestyle, you know, have a glass of wine and just immerse you in a much more of a natural space.
Instead of it being all open, you'll actually have these lovely little rooms. You wander through the garden rather than just seeing it as one.
Zone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The boys have divided the space horizontally into areas for lounging and dining, turning the garden into a series of rooms. Whilst Charlie's taken a different tack.
You're new gardeners, you work all the time, you're not quite sure time-wise how much time you'll have for the garden. I have basically gone with the shape, so the rectangular, but to add some interest, I've gone with raised borders made of timber at different heights.
She's going for a more conventional approach, using timber borders down each side of the garden. The boys have chosen wood too, but used it in a rather different way.
We also drew on from the house as well. There's quite a lot of wooden flooring, so we wanted to give you a lovely linear path there.
These two raised beds here, they're sort of what I would call bum height, just ideal perching.
That's perfect for when we've got guests over and we have parties in the summer, because we always run out of chairs.
One feature Laura and James are definitely not a fan of is the old shed.
What we wanted to do is kind of define this with a nice blocked wall, and that again doubles up as a seating space with a nice slab top on it.
So the boys are planning to leave the shed in and mask it, but Charlie's gone one better.
I have put a new shed in there, and I would have the shed facing this way, and it's a bit of a summer house type of shed.
Now we know Laura loves her plants. Can Charlie and the boys wow her on such a limited budget?
So we've got planting down this area here. On the top, we've left areas for maybe if you want to grow some herbs, and there's be a little bit more meadowy, so you'll have like a little bit more of a natural meadow. You see, like warm pinks, so it'll be something that's very kind of quite floral and quite natural.
We have a flower border here of roses and lavender.
Okay.
All right.
Very nice.
Now, this side of the garden, we're going to be putting in things there that like the sun and give you all the coloured flowers.
Both sides are trying to appeal to Laura's love of pink. But Charlie's come up with an extra place for plants by the back door.
These are actually containers made out of scaffold boards, painted, that are on wheels.
That sounds very cool.
It just lets you relax. It's your own little kind of bit of zen. I'm in touch with a bit more nature as well, which is quite nice.
It doesn't look like it could be our garden.
That's it, time's up. The couple must decide which design will deliver the garden that they want for their £1,500 budget.
The Rich brothers, I like where they've covered up the shed because it is a bit shabby at the moment.
In this one, it's kind of open, but that's quite an interesting concept. Yeah, and I like the decked walkway. That's really nice.
Yes, and it sort of ties in with the timber floorboards of the house as well. These are raised planters and work as a sort of bench as well, don't they? So when we've got people over,
They can perch on
perch
them.
on the side, yeah. And then you like these as well, didn't you, these colours?
Yeah, she mentioned having roses and lavender and smell lovely. And Charlie's also has a kind of a new shed, and I think we really do need one.
Yeah, it's on its last leg, so I think that would be pretty handy. It's a tough choice, isn't it?
It is.
With a new life ahead of them, this garden could really make a difference to Laura and James, but only one design can win. Will Laura and James plump for the Rich Brothers design that will take them on a journey through different zones, leading to a romantic seating area? Or will they choose Charlie's new summer house, her movable planters and raised beds filled with flowers? It's decision time.
Hi, guys.
Hello, hey.
Hi.
Was it a difficult decision?
Very, we loved both, didn't we?
Yeah, we loved both. We loved just to visualise our garden as something different. We have decided to go with Charlie's design.
Oh, interesting. My goodness.
So, I think it's going to be difficult to keep it on budget and to get everything in.
We haven't got long to build it, have we?
I'm glad you're both young and strong. I will be pointing. So how did you get to your decision? And I hope there weren't any arguments because, you know, I'd hate the wedding to be off.
I just did what I'm told. Easiest way, isn't it?
Good man.
Charlie may be smiling now, but this is where the hard work really starts. The boys are clearly disappointed, so she's going to need to win them round and put them to work if they're to have any hope of transforming this derelict backyard. Before Charlie and the boys can work their magic, her contracting team have to prepare the site. Charlie's working on the finer points of her design, so has asked project manager Kate and her boys to remove everything undesirable in the garden and lay the foundations for the new features in the design.
We've got our railway sleepers, which are going to be the main frame for all our raised beds. So that's the main design feature in this garden. We've just got to start getting that all round and start using it.
At the heart of Charlie's design is a new summer house. So it's time for the old shed to make an unceremonious exit. The new building is going to be a focal point in this garden, so it needs to be sited perfectly. The days of the humble shed hidden away at the bottom of the garden are over. In today's gardens, buildings are just as big a feature as trees and plants. Whether it's simple storage solutions, elegant summer houses, or ultra-modern outdoor pods, the right building can be another living space, helping take the pressure off our busy homes. But if you are going to invest in an outdoor structure, take care to site it properly so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. In Laura and James's garden, Charlie's plan is for the new summer house to face the patio, but there's a problem. The footings left from the old shed base are rotten, and with no money for new ones, contractors Adam and Scott are recycling parts of the old shed to create a new base. An expensive garden building can come with free installation, but on this budget, we're going flat pack and relying on the contractor's expertise. This isn't a one-person job, so if you do the same, make sure you've got someone to help you. The old shed may have gone, but Charlie's decided to keep the patio as a seating area for Laura and James. Right now, it's an eyesore, but Charlie has big plans for it, so has charged Kate and the boys with giving it a facelift.
First things first, I think we're going to jet wash the patio, get it cleaned up, because it's quite dirty.
With Charlie and the boys on their way, the contractors are keen to get all the prep work finished. The patio has been laid on an unsightly pile of rubble. So they're building a retaining wall to cover up the edges, in front of which there'll be a set of steps.
Perfect. Look at that, that's better.
But the pile of rubble is a lot wider than the patio. So there's a rather large gap.
And the height from the original patio, obviously we've got such a difference between there and here.
Yeah, and another sleeper makes it higher than the patio.
Too high, yeah, I think.
Yeah, if this wall comes up higher, we're going to be above the patio,
Yeah.
which I think is going to ruin the flow of the garden.
On the design, there's a lot more patio there on the actual
It comes
picture.
all the way out to
and there's
here.
not actually much patio here, is there?
No, well, we couldn't
For
get
us
any
to deal
extra
with.
slabs,
No.
and of course,
Yep.
lack of budget as well.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Charlie, Harry and David have arrived just in time and are ready to get stuck in.
So, plan of attack.
Right, go on, lay it on us.
Yeah, here we go. Harry, what I'd like you to do is get on with the raised beds because we've got to get ahead with the building them because we've got to fill them with soil before we plant them.
Yep.
I know it's really obvious, but there you go, yeah.
It's a good job.
David, if you can start on the patio at the far end.
Yeah.
So we're going to recycle all the slabs, so maybe lose one or two of the slabs. It will make it just look a little more patio relaxed rather than parking space.
Like it.
Don't tell me you're drinking tea while we're
Yeah,
doing
I'm
this.
going to be here drinking tea, enjoying the sunshine,
Making sure we're doing a good
checking the
job.
time and pointing. Yeah?
Perfect, yeah.
Off you go then.
Right.
I might just have a sip of my tea first then.
David's dutifully off to revive the patio, and Harry is on the case constructing the raised beds that will flank the edges of the garden. But Kate needs Charlie to focus on finding a solution to the retaining wall problem.
So what's the issue then? I mean...
Well, I think it's quite a little bit obvious, really, yeah.
That was meant to be the level, but if we come up another sleeper...
Yep.
It's going to be too high, isn't it?
It's going to be too high, and, you know, it's going to ruin that line. So, idea is to put this sleeper here, make an extra step.
OK, like what? So like that?
Yeah, like that.
Right.
So we kind of put a sleeper here, so you're going step one.
Step.
And then, yeah, that's what we thought you might have before.
David, we got a bit of a problem here, mate.
What is it?
Well, it's the levels, isn't it? We got the issue with the levels. So we really need an extra step, but we haven't got a vast amount of materials to do it. But I want it all to tie in, so I'm thinking, chop this, drop it in. I mean, there's a lot of hardcore underneath, so it's quite firm. And then another sleeper at the back, drop that slab into there.
Yeah.
Then put another step here on the angle.
It lends you into this little patio area as well.
Yeah.
Laura and James's limited budget means that anything that can be reused in the garden is a bonus. The challenge will be to find a way to make the old slab into a safe stepping stone.
How are you going?
Oh, easy. Just relaying some slabs, making them some level, banging some things.
This one's a bit...
What? That was one I just did. Oh, no!
No, it's not. You liar.
But before that, the old patio will need a facelift. Charlie's tasked David with turning it from an eyesore into a new seating area. And he's found a solution using ordinary gravel.
So if you need to remove a slab or there's a missing space, and they can just fill the gravel in its place. And this situation works really well because we've got 4 surrounding slabs. So it holds the gravel in, which is great.
By breaking up the solid paving with gravel, the patio immediately looks better.
This is a really good way to increase your area for your patio, but using gravel also gives that lovely texture and a bit of material change.
But David's got another trick to bring it to life.
Right, so if you're looking to spruce up your patio, but you find that some of the original slabs are broken or you can't find them, this is another great way of doing it. So here we've got chamomile lawn and we've got creeping thyme, and you can plant these then in the gaps. And these are great because they're low-lying, which means you're not going to trip over them. They smell really good, and they love dry and poor soil. So it means it's not going to take too much maintenance. So you're just going to make sure you dig a decent hole for them, enough for the pot size. Loosen up the soil around it because that'll help the new roots grow through. And once you're at the pot, just maybe give the roots a little tease, and then you put it in, and then push the soil up around it. There we are. And then that'll grow and thrive and, you know, be beautiful.
Nearby, Harry and Adam are building Charlie's extra step. They're adding a timber frame for stability and a membrane to stop the weeds coming through.
That's good and solid now. That'll take people walking on it.
Yeah.
Then, around the old slab, They're adding gravel so it matches David's new patio.
Much smarter finish.
Almost like a beach themed.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. All I'm doing here now is we've got a bit of a kind of issue of having all this kind of, it's unsightly, doesn't look the best. So what we're going to do, can I borrow the board?
Yes.
Is use a bit of a wooden board here just to create a more decorative finish to this step.
One of the issues with the old garden was that the fence at the back had collapsed. So David's come up with a solution. He's painting the remaining panel dark brown. And has found a novel use for one of the old shed walls.
Whack-a-mole!
This garden build is all about making a limited budget go a long way. Laura and James were taken with Charlie's idea for containers by the back door, but with no money to buy them, she's making them for a fraction of the price.
So we're making them nice and big. One, they're easier to maintain because they won't dry out so quickly, but also the impact, you'll be able to get more plants in them and they'll look a lot more attractive. Containers are great in a garden, but they can work out really expensive. My idea is that we're building it out of timber. This is going to just give a bit more support to the container. We're using gravel boards, so they're tannalised.
Tannalised means the wood has been treated to stop it from rotting.
There we go.
One in there.
There.
One in there.
That's a nice snug fit.
Beautiful.
As you can see, it's quite substantial. It's now that it's started coming together, it's quite weighty, which is good. Won't blow over in the wind. Even if you're not the best DIYer in the world, a container like this is really quite simple. It's a case of chopping up bits of timber, more or less the same length, doesn't matter if there's a couple of millimetres out, and screwing it together. That's it, really.
These aren't ordinary containers. They move. And this budget-busting idea has huge benefits to the plants.
In the winter, you can wheel it right up against the house and the plants will be more protected.
Adding a weed-proof membrane to the base of the container protects it from the soil, while still allowing water to drain through when it's filled.
And the timber this way will last much longer because it doesn't sit on a solid surface that's wet. The water will run through, so the timber is good to go.
Harry's also keen to show off his carpentry skills, but on a much bigger scale. He's cutting the softwood sleepers that will be a key feature at the edge of the garden.
What's so nice about this is that it's such a warm material. It creates this lovely kind of structure, and in this garden now it's going to create quite a contemporary structure. You can kind of play around with shapes and forms, and I think that's what's so nice about it, is that, you know, you can kind of do it yourself.
One of the big challenges with James and Laura's plot is drawing attention away from this rather boring fence. There are a number of ways in which you can make a long, thin garden appear wider and more interesting. In this garden in Berkshire, designer Andrea Newell has employed every trick in the book to bring this skinny urban plot to life.
The best ways to tackle a long, narrow garden really is to try and give the appearance that the garden is wider than it actually is. So ways of doing that are to have paths, rather than going straight up the garden, have them going horizontally across the width of the garden, so the eye is drawn across rather than straight up. Another way is to create a diagonal shape, and at the point of each diagonal you may have a focal point or a beautiful plant or a sculpture or something. It's to create movement within the garden and interest, really. This garden, which is, as well as being long and thin, it's sloping. To disguise that element, the garden was terraced, and on each level I added pergolas for height. The first one nearer the house being to frame the view and provide a sort of a full stop rather than draw the eye straight up the garden, and then another one further up to provide a destination. The key is to try and disguise what perhaps is a negative feature and turn it into a positive feature.
Just like in Andrea's garden, James and Laura have a sloping, narrow plot, so Charlie's employing softwood sleepers to break up the space. And because she's the boss, the boys are doing all the hard work.
It's important when you're using sleepers to keep them really level, because at the end you're really going to see the structure. So I'm just going to dip this down now, as there's quite a big level change in the garden.
The sleepers will go in at different angles and heights before being filled with soil to create raised beds. And Harry's got the job of getting the levelling and measuring just right.
I'm creating this kind of section which is going to jut out in the garden. It's going to be raised, so it's going to create this lovely feature and really kind of elevate the garden, which is going to be a really nice detail.
Levelling the ground is hard work, but definitely worth it for the end result. These sleepers are heavy enough that they can be laid directly onto the ground and have been treated to protect them from the elements.
What are you up to?
Trying to dig out in this. You've been good up there with your slabbing?
Yeah,
nice
nailing
easy
it.
Work.
Just brushing in some gravel.
Yeah.
Fluffing some flowers.
Sounds like your kind of job, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Bracket with it.
This little guy.
Yeah. See if he's in there.
Sunshine, sunshine, you know, some of us are waiting on the saw, you know, don't just use it and chuck it aside.
I mean, digging.
Crazy. Oh, now you're Right, Barry, let's level this off, eh? Oh! That's Harry level, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Is it going on the inside or the outside?
Yeah, outside there.
Outside, not long enough.
We've just jutted this out, so it really makes a kind of feature, and this is going to be 2 levels high, so it makes it really easy to kind of manage, doesn't it, and maintain.
And ideal to sit on.
Yes.
With a nice
You know
cup
that,
of
don't you?
tea. Right, and sunshines.
1 peg. 15 to go. So we're using the pegs just to hold the raised beds in, really. So for the sleepers, otherwise they might move once you push soil up against them.
Right, save last one.
Last one, nice.
All right.
What we've got to do now, fasten it up, and then we're off.
So far, this garden rescue is on track. The summer house is up, and the patio has had a revamp. But there's an awful lot of raised beds going in, and we've only got enough money for 1 bag of soil to fill them all.
We're a bit tight on the soil, and budget doesn't allow for more.
As things stand, there's a strong possibility some beds won't get filled. Charlie has to get James and Laura outside for a summit meeting.
Basically, on the design, you'll remember that there were raised borders all the way round.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But because of the levels at the top end of the garden, we need to use up a little bit more of the topsoil.
Okay.
So what I'm suggesting, there's 2 options. We can reduce this border and cut it back, the raised border.
Okay.
That will reduce the amount of soil that we can use up there. We can either make this into a border at ground level, or we can run some turf straight across there.
Okay. Both look good, but what would you prefer?
I think the turf, maybe just extend the grassed area, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I reckon the turf.
Yeah.
Right,
What do you think?
yay! That's the right answer. OK, that's wonderful. That really sorts the problem out.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
With all the boys on tools, Charlie's on to stage 2 of her mobile containers. Containers are a great way to bring colour and texture to a large patio, small balcony or a decking area. They are perfect for growing plants, herbs and veg. The bonus of container gardening is you can choose your soil rather than being stuck with what nature's left you, allowing you to grow a variety of different plants more successfully. In Laura and James's garden, Charlie knows that Laura loves to cook, so she's creating a mini herb garden by the back door.
It's rosemary. Rosemary's great. You can use it in cooking, you can make it into topiary, and it's evergreen. And it smells gorgeous, and the bees and butterflies love it. And a couple of times. Okay, that'll hang over nicely.
As well as rosemary, Charlie is also planting sorrel and sage, the perfect herbs for Laura's soups and stews. With the deck now complete, Charlie can add her next design feature. She's planning to construct a decorative pergola to frame the view of the back of the garden, but needs David's help to site it.
David, are you doing anything? Oh,
Always.
no. Come on. Right, let's sort this pergola. Need to find the middle of the retaining wall.
Yeah.
For the central upright post.
Okay.
A shop-bought structure would bust the budget, so she's improvising using 3 timber posts and a length of chain.
This pergola is going to be just really simple. It's like a swag.
A swag?
A swag.
Oh, interesting.
Nice. But what I want to see is where that post is going to be in relation to the doors, yeah? Where is it?
Where's the mark? There he is.
Mark. Just for now, it's going to be like that.
How's that look for you?
What we need is for you to hold that on there. What do you think?
So, that doesn't look too bad because you can still see the shed upright, but it doesn't interfere with the lines. I'm pleased about
David's not convinced. Let's hope Laura and James like it.
Yeah, that's got it.
Yeah.
This is screwed to the retaining wall to hold it upright, but we just want to put some concrete mix around the very bottom to make it stable so it won't blow around in the wind, and it will just give it that extra strength. So, you being 6'8".
6'3".
6'3", all right. I want you to put a screw in, and then we're going to hook the chains on.
Yeah.
So we're going to have one going zump, zump, and then we're going to have one going a thump, thump.
Cool.
Yeah?
I like it.
A double swag. I'll hold this end, you hold that end.
This double swag will create a place for climbing plants to scramble. Once they've grown across the whole structure, it will be a living frame of colour and scent. That's it for the building. Now it's time to see if there's enough soil to fill the beds.
1, 2, 3.
Luckily, there is, and the beds are full to the brim.
Multitasking, multitasking. Levelling beds, potting up containers, and pointing a lot. Right, that's that.
Homeowner Laura has a passion for pink, and Charlie won her over with her carefully chosen mix of bright, colourful flowers. And now it's critical they all go in the right place.
Oh, such choices.
It looks a bit chaotic, but there's method in Charlie's madness. She points and gets the boys to do the lifting. On the right-hand side, Charlie's using shade-loving shrubs to brighten the space.
You can take the Chenomelies, boys. We'll have, let's put one in the middle back here. So,
Chenomelies, better known as a flowering quince, are spiny shrubs that produce bright red, pink or white flowers.
We have got a nice golden heart ivy, which might be nice on that wall. Chocolate or jasmine down by the seating area?
I don't really know.
Decisions.
Where's he going?
Just down on the other side of the
right.
patio area. David, you should know, girls don't do left and right. It's that way or that way.
Charlie's chosen other fragrant plants for the couple to enjoy at the top of the patio.
Here. Nice lavender. A couple of lavenders next to the step. So as they wander up, they'll brush by them and they'll be in heaven, sat down here of an evening to chillax.
In this sunny spot, Charlie is planting flowers with pink blooms, including these bleeding hearts. They get their name from their pretty heart-shaped flowers. With Laura and James's budget not extending to a new fence, to To cover the old one, Charlie's using climbers, like this climbing rose, the Rosa Compassion, to soften the boundaries.
So these are lovely, all breccia. They trail down over the edge of things, but they also make a nice mat. So this will end up as a carpet of variegated foliage with these purple flowers. Do you like these?
They are really nice, yeah.
Dianthus. What is it? Cloves and nutmeg.
I was just about to say that.
Charlie's chosen a wisteria to cover the new pergola.
Then you can twine a couple of bits in.
With little training, this wisteria will wind its way around the chain swags and produce beautiful flowers around Maytime each year. But to give the climbers on the fence a helping hand, Harry's adding some support.
I'm just pre-drilling this hole so I can turn in and get the eyelet. I'm going to string up some wire for the climbers. Just gives them a nice little bit of structure so they can grow up.
Clematis montana is a great choice to cover a wall or fence because it'll grow quickly to fill the space. Well supported, they can grow up to 14 metres high and 3 metres wide. You can plant it any time of year, but it will be in full bloom in early summer.
That's about perfect, yeah, do that.
To bring her design to life for the money, Charlie's had to recycle like mad. She's even found a use for part of the old bathroom suite.
So this is Laura's little sink that was hidden away underneath some builder's rubble. So it's quite sweet. I'm going to plant it up with a couple of her favourite plants, hardy geraniums, which are great for anywhere in the garden, keep flowering and flowering. Fuchsia, she likes pinks, so we're going to have it's a hardy fuchsia, so that will give us a bit of height at the back, and then maybe 1 or 2 of the alpines to really pretty it up. Little bit of miniature gypsophila. Everybody knows gypsophila. It's that fluffy white little flower you get in a bunch of carnations.
By saving money on landscaping and features, Charlie's freed up enough money to give Laura and James a brand new lawn. The boys are clearing weeds and pebbles and then carefully raking the surface to leave a top finish ready for laying the turf. The first row is laid against a straight edge to ensure the rest go in straight. Then each piece is placed tight to the next to get an even finish. A new lawn will need frequent watering and is best laid between early autumn and early spring. And as the last roll goes down, this budget-busting new garden is finished. In its previous life, James and Laura's garden was an empty void, its only feature being the partly buried remains of an old bathroom suite. Now it's had a £1,500 transformation. But Charlie and the team have had to make every penny count. The old garden featured a dilapidated shed. Now in its place is a romantic summer house. Coming in at £350 is the perfect focal point for the new garden. By hand-making a pergola for just £60, Charlie has added a living frame to the garden. This will burst with stunning blooms once the climbers take hold. The old plot looked long and featureless, so the team spent just over £300 on wooden sleepers, creating raised beds placed at different angles. And Charlie's added movable containers for the bargain price of £20. These have been planted with Laura's favourite herbs, and for a bit of resourceful recycling, she's even taken the old sink found in the garden and made it into a quirky planter. Despite their limited budget, James and Laura had high hopes for this garden. They were looking for the perfect outdoor space to complement their new married life together. It's time to find out if Charlie and the boys have delivered the garden they dreamed of.
Oh, here they come.
So a bit further.
I'm nervous for them.
Little step.
Feels like grass.
Feels like grass, does it?
I think their eyes are closed.
Oh, they're not allowed to see.
Unless they're really slow walkers.
Right. Would you like to open your eyes?
Oh my god.
Wow, that's unbelievable, isn't it?
Wow.
What a transformation.
Oh, big smiles. We can see teeth, that's good.
That bit up there looks amazing and it's so different.
Yeah? A good difference?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
much
unbelievable,
better
yeah.
different. The steps look lovely as well. I like the way that you've actually reused the old slabs as well. It looks good.
Never
Ties
realised they
it
were that
in,
colour.
yeah.
They're eyeing up that shed, aren't they? The summer house.
And we've got your...
Movable planters, is it?
Yeah, they look so nice, don't
So
they?
you'll be able to move these
I think they're
down.
a pretty cool thing, aren't they, mate?
I love those, yeah.
Come and explore.
I visualised the kind of the beds and how they would look, but I just wasn't sure how this would end up. So
Yeah, I
that's
wasn't sure how it would be
amazing.
finished off,
Yeah, okay. I could tread lightly.
Perfectly executed. Onto the top.
And then you get a totally different view.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking back. And then we've got your climbers. So this one's an akebia, so that smells of chocolate.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
This is an evergreen clematis, so it's got a lovely honey smell, early spring. And then this will be your wisteria.
Oh, yes.
And it's just about to come into flower.
Oh, it's going to look amazing in full bloom, isn't it?
Yeah, once it's all grown up.
Well, there's lots of smiles, so I think today we've nailed it, really. I think they love the garden.
Oh, amazing. Thank you, Charlie. Thanks so much.
This garden has pushed Charlie and the boys' skills to the limit, but it's been worth it.
For the budget, I think they've managed to really fit a lot into it and get creative with it.
For the budget, I think we've made quite an impact on the garden.
It's completely changed, I think.
We've got retaining wall, we've got steps, you've got the raised beds. It is the essence of this garden, isn't it?
If I was to do it out of brick or stone, it'd be a lot more expensive. So again, budget-wise, it's been brilliant.
And my
Lovely
containers, if you went to buy that, that would cost a fortune.
It looked really nice.
The garden rescue team definitely delivered like way above our expectations too. It's something we'd never have come up with ourselves.
No, you've never have come up with the designs. So just having the design and seeing the reality of it for the division today has just been absolutely amazing.
It looks like today we have two very happy customers.